I needed to explain to somebody why I wasn't going to pay that $55 back.
Okay?
Is this the appeals department?
Yes, it is.
Well, they sent me a thing with the option to appeal, which I did, and then they responded back saying we've already made our final decision. So I'm thinking, why would they even give me the option to appeal? And apparently the guy tried to explain to me why the buyer got reimbursed and why they expect me to pay it. And I mean, I even got a recorded phone call from PayPal where I called PayPal about it because I didn't want them trying to seize money from me. I mean, I even had to go close my checking and credit card accounts just so nobody would steal money from me. And even PayPal, when I told them what happened, even they said that eBay shouldn't be trying to collect money from me. I mean, that's, that's PayPal telling me that. What happened was, well, first of all, I sent the item on December 19th and I got the tracking number, and on December 29th it got there. I found that out on December 31st. So I threw the tracking slip away because I'm not somebody who hoards things. I'm not a pack rat or nothing. And even the post office will tell you that a tracking number is just to have in case somebody doesn't get something. And so, of course, once he got it, there's no use in holding on to that slip of paper. He waits 2 to 3 weeks and then emails me saying he didn't get it. Well, the thing is, he did get it, and he kept emailing me his phone number. It's like he didn't want to discuss it through the email, I guess because eBay sees that stuff. Well, I called him up and he proceeds to tell me that he did get the item but that it was broken. And I said, well, it says for parts only in my auction. And he said he knew that, but he didn't know it when he bought it. He didn't read it. And I said, well, that's not really my problem. And he told me that if I sent him $25 to his PayPal account, that he would not open a case. And I kind of laughed at him. I said, well, feel free to open a case because that'll be open and shut. eBay will see that I listed it as for parts only, and they'll award it in, they'll award it to my favor. And then he said, well, if I open a case, I'm not even going to tell him that I got the item. And he said that I had a tracking number on my auction, and the tracking number the tracking number didn't even show where the post office has even got the thing yet. And I said, well, that's because I tried to print a shipping label and it wouldn't work. Which brings me to another point, that there should be a phone recorded conversation in there that on December 16th or 17th where I got a lady on the phone from eBay to help me print my shipping labels, because I've done hundreds of them before and never had a problem. So she had me void it out and try to print another shipping label. Well, the next one didn't print out either. So it was like $14.30 for each one. So I had to get PayPal to refund me $28 and something, which they did. And then I had to physically go and take the package to the post office on December 19th, and which I paid them to do it. It was $13.52 plus 85 cents for delivery confirmation. And so that's the whole deal there. And my whole thing is I'm not paying the $55 back until that guy sends me back my item.
Okay, well, unfortunately the appeal has already been denied. I can see that they decided once and then they decided again, and here's why. Because when you track that number, there's no update. So it shows that you sent it on December 16th, and then it never shows that it went anywhere.
Well, that's eBay's fault.
That isn't eBay's fault.
No, listen, this is what happened. This is what happened. Hold on. Those two tracking numbers is because the shipping label wouldn't print, and it was determined by the lady on the phone from eBay that it must be a glitch in eBay's system, because she had me do all this other stuff and my printer worked at the time. It's just it wouldn't print a shipping label from eBay. And so that's why I had to go to the post office and mail it. And I even got the credit card. Even though I don't have that tracking slip no more, I have the credit card statement showing where I paid them $14.37, and plus I told the guy, I even had that guy on voice recorder, him admitting that he had the VCR DVD combo for $55, and him trying to get me to pay him $25, and I told him that was theft, and that was extortion or stealing, and then he hung up the phone on me. From what I'm hearing, and I just found this out today, and it's part of the reason why I'm calling back, is because there's like scams like crazy going on from buyers of eBay, and I was sent a link from YouTube, and then when I looked at it on YouTube, it opened up like about 100 more links of sellers getting scammed, and eBay always taking the buyer side on stuff on the same similar scam. And I could even send y'all the link if y'all give me a direct email address, but there's one guy on YouTube, and it sounds like it's the same buyer from Chicago. Imagine that, Chicago. But I mean, as if no crooks ever came out of Chicago. But but the guy, he's like the way he was explaining it, I mean, it's almost a replica of what happened to me. He gets the item, and then he waits like a month after he got it, and then wants the tracking number, and then the guy, of course, in a month's time doesn't still have the tracking number. And my whole thing is eBay needs to have something in their policy that says sellers need to retain their tracking numbers indefinitely. I mean, there's nothing in there anywhere that says somebody needs to keep their tracking number after the buyer receives the item, because all the tracking number is to locate it in case it gets lost. And if he gets the item and it's damaged, well, that's on the post office.
All right. Well, now that you know that, and we can go over a few other things for the future, as far as this case, there isn't anything I can do. It's already been appealed once. It's been closed. I'm really sorry that you're out your $55.
Well, I'm not paying is what I'm saying. I'm not paying that $55. I mean, I've been a customer for 13 years, and I mean, if it wasn't for sellers, there wouldn't be no buyers on eBay. eBay should treat their customers better than that.
Well, no, and we try really hard to treat our customers good, but there's certain things that we have to ask of the sellers too. So you have to hold up your end of the deal, and your part of the deal for us to be able to protect you is to provide tracking. Okay, and I understand you didn't keep the tracking, and now you know for future reference you have to keep that tracking.
Well, I'm not a pack rat. I don't keep.
If you continue to use eBay, you're going to have to pay the $55.
I mean, I don't keep receipts. I don't keep boxes open. Like if I buy a TV, I'm not one of them guys that sits there and keeps boxes of stuff in the attic and everything, and wrappers and receipts and tracking slips. I mean, I've just.
Well, and I understand that, because I mean, I don't like to keep a lot of that clutter too, but now you know that when it comes to selling things on eBay, you have to keep that tracking information.
Well, here's the thing.
This is what we need from you as a seller to be able to protect you. And if we don't have that, then, and the item shows that it's not delivered, it hasn't updated, you either have to take it up with the post office.
Well, I did get a case number from the post office, but I don't know how good that's going to do. But the post office...
if it's the post office that lost your package or whatever, then you have to work with them.
Well, I got a case number from them just to try to locate my tracking number. But, I mean, they're government workers, so they're just probably, even though they say they can't do it, they probably just won't do it. They're just lazy. But they should have a tracking number associated with that guy's address. Because I even had the time and the date that I was at the post office. I even gave them the exact post office, the actual branch that I went to, and they said they'd call me back yesterday, but I never heard back from them. And another reason why I can't pay that money back is because, one, I'm out $15 that I sent to ship it, and if I pay that $55, I'm out $70, and I don't have my item back. So I'm like out 3 times there.
Yeah, and I am sorry. I mean, I wish there was more that I could do at this point.
But if that buyer, if he sends it back, like I told him on email and on the phone, I would refund it. And there's even something on email that kind of busted him. He said in an email, and this is a Freudian slip, and there's key words that people will slip up and say. Well, he wrote that I can't send this unit back because I never got it. Well, that makes no sense. If he didn't have it, the key word there is this. Why did he? And that's, I mean, it's in the eBay email records, and it's plain as day. He said, I cannot send this unit back. If he didn't have it on his person, he would have wrote, I cannot send it back or send that back because I never got it. But even him writing this kind of busts him. He ain't gonna send it back because y'all already paid him $55. I mean, and y'all are real quick to do that, which I don't understand, without me even appealing it.
Well, you did appeal it, right?
Yeah, but they sent the $55 back before I even got a chance to appeal it. And I seen a video on YouTube where somebody's explaining that once eBay gives money back to the buyer, they're going to be damned if they're going to give money back to the seller. They're going to want their money back. So the seller's already screwed.
Well, the thing with the appeal is you wanted to appeal the case, but you had no new information. So if there's still no tracking number and there's no way to prove that he has the item, why is eBay supposed to pay you back your money? You didn't hold up your end of the deal.
But I don't have...
Well, the correct tracking number, so we have no way of proving that it got there.
But I have no money...
responsibility.
I don't have no money to pay back. They didn't take no money from me, and thank God I keep my PayPal balance at zero, because then I would have really been screwed. I did my part. The post office will tell you. And I called up there just asking a general question just to get it documented. I said, what's the point of a tracking number? And they said to locate an item in case it gets lost. And I said, well, if the item makes it to the destinated address, what do I do with the confirmation slip? And they said, you can throw it away if you want. And I said, thank you. And I mean,
and you probably should take that up with the post office. If they're the ones that told you to throw it away, that wasn't a very good move.
Well, it was because he
to do that, then you probably should look into it with them.
No, because they're right. Once he got the item, there's no sense in me keeping it. And I've gone through this. I've sold.
We have no way. Do you see where we're coming from? We have no way of knowing that he got it. Just because you think that he did?
I got
proof that he does.
I got a recorded phone call, a recorded conversation with him trying to get me to pay him $25 to not open a case. And it's funny because there's another YouTube video where somebody said that they tried to buy him out for $25 for a $100 radio, and what he was hoping for was he was going to give him $25. He was just going to turn around and sell it for the same price he bought it. And that stuff's going on like crazy. And I did not know. I thought this was just an isolated thing. But apparently this is going on like crazy, like rampant. And I mean, I got a recorded conversation. I offered that guy this morning to play it for him or send it to him of that buyer offering me $25 and saying, and at the beginning of the conversation he's sitting there telling me he did get the item but it was broke and he can't sell it in his store. And how in the world would I know he even had a store if he didn't tell me this? But he said he can't sell it in his store because it's broke. And I said, well, that's what it said on my eBay auction. And I said, I told him, you can even hear me telling him that eBay ain't gonna give him his money back if my auction clearly said for parts only. And he said, well, I'm not even going to tell him that I got the item. I mean, you give me an address or something, I'll burn it to a CD and send it to y'all. I mean, isn't that proof enough?
Okay, well, what I can do for you in this circumstance is I can report the buyer.
Right.
We have a department that looks really carefully at buyers' buying practices. You can look into that, see what we can do from there. But as far as this case is concerned, it's already been appealed. There isn't anything that I can do.
Well, I got proof. I got proof that, I mean, if we went to court with this, or there was some kind of class act, I mean, heck, even Facebook has a class action lawsuit against them for something stupid. But I mean, that stuff's going on, and I mean, if we went into court and I had an audio of that guy doing that, I mean, I would hope they throw him up under the jail. And I mean, he just scammed eBay. He scammed everybody.
All right. Well, I'm really sorry about that. Good luck in the future if you decide to pay your balance.
So
I hope you do, so you can keep using eBay.
So y'all don't want this audio?
All right. Well, I can't do that. So, is there any other questions I can answer for you?
Well, can anybody do it? I mean, this is real bad. I mean, the way y'all treating your eBay seller. I mean, I've been here 13 years.
But you have to understand where we're coming from.
But this guy just committed fraud, and it's proven.
Like I said, I'm happy to report that buyer for you, and we can take a look at his buying practices. And
the other thing is, if those 2 tracking numbers weren't on my auction, because he even brought that up, if those 2 tracking numbers weren't on my auction that I had to void out, I mean, those tracking numbers should have been deleted. If they weren't on there, he wouldn't have been trying to play that, because he said, well, I look at your tracking number and it doesn't even say it's been sent out yet. And that's when I told him, look, man, the correct tracking number was the number that was affixed to your package. I mean, I would be surprised there ain't any other, well, unless he's been called, any other little notes in his file already. If I paid that money back, first I'd have to have that thing back from him, but I would need my PayPal and my eBay fees returned to me, plus I'd have to have that negative feedback removed. And that's another thing. Why would he leave me negative feedback once he's got my item, plus he got $55 free money? I mean, it's like he did it just to spite me because he knew I'd called him on the phone.
Okay, so click on Sitemap at the bottom of most eBay pages.
Okay.
Okay, so find Sitemap, and then in the right column under the feedback heading, click Reply to Feedback Received. And then click on the reply link for the comment you want to reply to. And then enter your reply and click Leave Reply.
Okay. Yeah, I put a lot of thought to it before I even...
Yeah, don't write anything offensive.
Yeah.
Because that's not going to make the situation any better, in my opinion.
Yeah. But it'll let him come back again and slam me, won't it?
I don't know if they can reply after you reply.
Well, y'all should keep a watch on that guy, man, because that's just crazy. I mean, it's a dang... I didn't even know that stuff was going on. I thought it just happened to me, but it's like stuff all over YouTube about buyers. And I watched a few videos, and there was one, I swear it's got to be that same guy.
Like you said, you have sold on eBay for 13 years, and I can see you don't have very many cases, so obviously this doesn't happen very often, and sometimes we just have bad experiences and we have to learn from them, right?
Well, it's just the principle. I mean, if he didn't tell me he had it, I probably would have choked up and gave him that, or I would have at least said, well, it said it got there, and I would have thought, well, maybe somebody, I mean, again, it's in Chicago, maybe somebody came by and stole it off of his doorstep or something, and then it'd be between him and the post office. I mean, I'm out to...
I understand. I know that is really hard, but there just isn't anything else that I can do.